Mekarti, and I am here with my group members Nabila Ramadhani, Nurma Yunita, and Kartika Barlian. We are from Group 4. Today, we would like to present our material for the subject Discourse Analysis in Language Teaching. And the title of our presentation is Intonation and Meaning in Spoken Discourse. In this presentation, we will explain how intonation plays an important role in spoken communication, especially in helping speakers express meaning, attitude, and interaction. So, let's begin our presentation. Language is not only about grammar rules, but also about how people communicate in real life. In spoken communication, meaning is not just from words, but also from intonation, which is the rise and fall of the voice. Intonation is very important because it helps speakers express feelings, attitudes. It also helps manage conversation and make messages clear. Even though it is very important, intonation is often ignored in language learning, even though it plays a big role in effective communication.
Hello, my name is Nabila Ramadhani and I'm from Class B, Group 4. So here I will explain the next material. The first one is definition of spoken discourse. So, spoken discourse refers to language used in real-time communication, such as conversations, lectures, and interviews. This means that language is produced and interpreted directly during interaction, not planned in advance like written language. However, spoken discourse is not simply a collection of sentences. According to Coulthard, it is a structure of communication that follows certain principles such as coherence, relevance, and sequential organization. In other words, what we say is connected and meaningful within the flow of interaction. Spoken discourse is also interactive. This means that speakers do not speak independently, but they respond to each other, anticipate response, and coordinate their ideas during communication. In addition, it is context dependent. The meaning of what is said depends on the situation, the relationship between speakers, and the purpose of the interaction. So, spoken discourse is organized beyond individual sentences. It forms a continuous stretch of language as explained by McCarthy, and it is shaped by social and communicative contexts. And the next is definition and concept of intonation. Intonation is the use of pitch variation in speech to convey meaning beyond words. It refers to the rise and fall of the voice as we speak. However, intonation is more than just sound variation. It plays a crucial role in communication and operates at multiple levels, including phonological, grammatical, pragmatic, and discourse levels. According to McCarthy, intonation helps express attitudes and emotions, such as interest, surprise, or uncertainty. It also indicates the type of speech, for example, whether a sentence is a question or a statement. In addition, intonation helps structure information by highlighting important parts of an utterance, and it also signals boundaries in discourse, making communication clearer and easier to understand. From a phonological perspective, intonation is related to changes in the frequency of the voice, which we perceive as pitch. These changes are not random, but from meaningful patterns. Furthermore, intonation consists of several important elements, namely pitch, stress, tone, and rhythm. All of these elements work together to shape how meaning is delivered in spoken communication.
I am Nurma Yunita, the third presenter, and today I will explain about types of intonation and the role of intonation in meaning. In this part, I will explain the types of intonation in English. Intonation is the rise and fall of the voice when we speak, and it is very important because it affects meaning. The way we use our voice can show whether we are certain, asking a question, feeling doubtful, or expressing emotion. Falling tone, certainty, final meaning. The falling tone is when the voice goes down at the end of a sentence. It is used to show certainty and that the message is complete. This tone is commonly used in stats, commands, and questions such as what, where, when, why, and how. It makes the speaker sound confident and firm. Raising tone question response needed. The rising tone is when the voice goes up at the end of a sentence. It is used when the speaker expects a response from the listener. This tone is commonly used in yes or no question, and also when asking for confirmation. It shows that the speaker is waiting for an answer. Fall rise tone, doubt, polite meaning. The fall rise tone is when the voice falls and the rise. It is used to express doubt, uncertainty, or polite meaning. Sometimes the speaker does not say everything directly, but there is an implied message behind the sentence. This tone is often used to sound more careful or polite. Rise fall tone, strong emotion, surprise. The rise fall tone is when the voice rises and falls. It is used to express strong emotions such as surprise, admiration, or even sarcasm. This tone makes the speech sound more expressive and show that the speaker feels strongly about something. And the level tone is a flat tone with no rise or fall in the voice. It is used in natural situations such as reading aloud or giving information without emotion. If it is used too often, it can make the speech sound monotonous. Next, I will explain the role of intonation in meaning. Intonation is very important because it helps us understand the speaker's real intonation, not just the words they say. Intonation and pragmatic meaning. Intonation helps express pragmatic meaning, which is the meaning beyond the literal words. It shows the speaker's intonation, such as whether they are serious, joking, or being polite. It also helps highlight which part of this sentence is important. Differences in meaning due to intonation. One sentence can have different meaning just because of information. Even if the words are the same, the meaning can change depending on how the sentence is spoken. This shows that intonation plays a big role in communication. Intonation and grammatical structure. Intonation is also related to grammatical structure. Even a sentence is grammatically correct, intonation can strengthen or change how the sentence is understood by the listener. So, intonation is very important in communication because it helps us express meaning, feelings, and intonation more clearly. I think that's all from me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, I will continue the material. Yes, function of information in spoken discourse. The function of intonation in spoken discourse is have 4 parts, and the first is expressing attitudes and emotion. One of the most immediately perceptible function of information is capacity to express the speaker's attitude, feelings, and emotional states. The choice of tone, pitch, and pitch range on can convey a wide spectrum of attitudinal meanings: interest, boredom, enthusiasm, sarcasm, anger, affection, and many others. Culture in 1985, Acknowledge that attitude meaning is one of the most salient functions of intonation in everyday conversation. Speakers do not merely transmit proportional content, they simultaneously signal their sentence toward that content and toward their interlocutor. Next, managing turn-taking in conversation. Turn-taking is one of the most fundamental aspects of conversational organism, and intonation is among the most important signals by which speakers coordinate the exchange of conversational turn. The management of transition between speaker who speaks next, when to take the floor, and how to halt or yell in turn is significantly regained by Prosodicus. Coulter in 1985 discussed the role of intonation in the sequential organization of conversation, drawing on the foundational work of Sachs, Schellhoff, and Jefferson on conversation analysis. C. Marking topic and discourse structure. At the discourse level, intonation serves important organizational function, helping speakers and listeners to structure extended stretches of talk into coherent topics and subtopics. Change in pitch level, pitch range, and tempo serve as prosodic boundaries, the signal at the beginning and the end of discourse unit. Coulter in 1985 identifies tone group boundaries as a fundamental unit of spoken discourse organization. Each tone group corresponds to an intonation unit, a stretch of speech organized around a single nucleus. The role information in topic management is particularly important in long stretch of spoken discourse, such as lectures, narrative, and explanation. A speaker will introduce a new main point may signal its significance through a high key and wide pitch range. A speaker who is summarizing or concluding may use a lower key and falling tone. D. Emphasizing information. One of the most linguistically precise functions of intonation is its role in signaling information structure. This distinction between information that is new and important and information that is given or presupposed through the placement of the intonation nucleus and the manipulation of pitch height and range. Speaker direct the listener attention to the most communicatively significant part of the utterance. The emphasis function of intonation is also closely related to the concept of focus. When a speaker wants to highlight a particular aspect of an utterance, to draw the listener's attention to a specific word, phrase, or contrast, they use in intonation to a focus marker. This use is common in context of correction. Example, I said Tuesday, not Thursday. Contrast, he wrote this report, she present it, an emphasis for territorial of or effective purpose. It's all for me. Thank you.
So, in conclusion, intonation has a very important role in spoken communication because it affects meaning, interaction, and how effective communication is. By using different pitch patterns like rising or falling tones, speakers can show their feelings or attitudes, organize their ideas clearly, and help listeners understand the message better. So, intonation is an essential skill, especially for language learners, because it makes communication clearer and more meaningful. So, I think that's enough. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.